Ashe, Ashe, Ashe and Grand Rising. A grand day to you all once again, my very beautiful people, and especially you, my awakened and enlightened people the world over. Yes, 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 yes. You don't know that it is yours truly, I, the Mystic Philosopher. And as customary, along with some of my recorded chirping bird sounds, and some of my rusty finger-picking guitar gently playing in the background. And I'm here to share with you some more of my unique and thought-provoking perspectives and insights. And yes, my dearly beloved people, it is high time for reason and for reasoning. In fact, if I might add, it is high time for thinking and for reasoning. Now, the topic that I would quickly speak on this Grand Rising is titled L.A. Lewis versus Andre Stevens. A competition or a cooperation? So I logged onto the internet early this beautiful Grand Rising, Saturday, July 30th, 2022. And after a very restful night sleep, to see, listen, and catch up on the latest news or the latest updates on the Donna-lee Donaldson missing case. And to my surprise and my disappointment, and with much regret, I might add, the first thing, or more correctly, the first YouTube video that immediately popped up on my screen was a 6-minute 24-second video titled Andre Stevens gives L.A. Lewis a piece of his mind. And it started off with Mr. Andre Stevens saying that, and I quote, "I take the high road," unquote. And that statement, along with the headline of the video, not only somewhat shocked me, and I will explain to you shortly why I say it somewhat shocked me, but it immediately indicated and confirmed to I, the Mystic Philosopher, that the same evil spirit that is the cause of the disappearance of young Donna-lee Donaldson, the same evil spirit that is responsible for her being presumed murdered, the same evil spirit that has caused and is causing the anguish, the pain and the suffering that her beloved mother, her father, her family, her friends, her fans and her well-wishers to bear and to be currently bearing, the same spirit of confusion, the spirit of injustice, the same spirit of distraction, the same spirit of self, the same spirit of egotism, the same spirit of pride that always goes before a fall, the same spirit of enmity, the same spirit of deception, or if you prefer, the same spirit of lies, the same spirit of mischief, the same spirit of maliciousness, the same spirit of discord, disunity, the same spirit of evil that has infested, that has possessed, that has manifested in, and that is manifesting in the heart, mind, and body of her meaning Donna-lee's betrayer, her Judas, also known as her boyfriend and former lover, and her now the accused, her suspected murderer, namely Police Constable Noel Maitland. The same spirit of evil that has infested, that has possessed, that has manifested, and that is evidently manifesting in the hearts, minds, and physical bodies of all the accused, Constable Noel Maitland's accomplices and co-conspirators, both those that are known to each other and those that are unknown. The same spirit of evil that has infested, that has possessed, that has manifested, and that is manifesting in the hearts, minds, and bodies of all his very powerful political connection and influencers, etc., that are working on his behalf in their various capacities from behind the scenes in their unwavering attempt to protect him from potentially receiving the system's own justice. The same spirit of evil that has infested, that has possessed, that has manifested, and that is manifesting in the hearts, the minds, and the physical bodies of all of his, and by extension, all of their renowned, high-profiled, and high-cost lawyers that will defend the evil force. Lawyers that will defend the alien entity, the humankind himself, that is commonly called Satan the devil, once the price is right, once the money is good. Upon hearing that very passionate but well articulated statement, along with the pronounced and emotionally charged headline of that video, Andre Stephen give L.A. Lewis a piece of his mind. And having watched at least 5 subsequent videos on the subject titled 1. Andre Stephen, this L.A. Lewis, video number 2, L.A. Lewis versus Andre Stephen, video number 3, Andre final warning to L.A. Lewis, video number 4, Andre tell L.A. Lewis to stay in his lane, video number 5, L.A. Lewis talk about the rift between him and Andre Stephen, Dr. Love. After watching them, it became even more than obvious and self-evident to I, the Mystic Philosopher, that the same evil spirit mentioned earlier had invaded and is in the process of fully taking over the United Camp, or the Unity Camp. And by Unity Camp, I hereby mean the former unity between Mr. Andre Stephen, social media platform, and his audience, or his followers, and Mr. L.A. Lewis, aka the Maroon Emperor, and his platform, along with his audience and followers, thereby deviously or diabolically changing the narrative and the focus from the disappearance and presumed murder of Donna-lee Donaldson and the suffering of her beloved mother, her father, her loved ones, and friends. And again, away from the betrayer, the Judas, and accused, or if you prefer, alleged murderer, Police Constable Noel Maitland. And also the focus away from the international and Jamaicans and the Jamaican public presumed, or rather perceived, cover-up, if not the outright cover-up by the Jamaican Constabulary Force in their attempt to protect and defend one of their own. That is what's happening. So as an elder and as the Mystic Philosopher, I would like to speak directly through this social media platform to these my two brothers. And to do so, I will preamble my perspective and talk with what I do think are some very wise quotes from the Adamic race history and holy book, also known as the Christian Holy Bible. And I will begin with quote number 1, taken from the book called Proverbs, chapter 9 and verse 8. And I'm reading from the New International Version, commonly known as the NIV. And I quote, "Do not rebuke mockers, or they will hate you. Rebuke the wise and they will love you, unquote. Now, some of you might be asking, who is a mocker? Well, according to the Berean Study Bible, a mocker is the name of the proud and arrogant man, of him who acts with excessive pride. Second quote, in fact, from another version, Proverbs 9 and verse 8, King James Version. Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee. Now, who is a scorner? Some of you again might be asking. Well, according to the Christian Composition.com, and I quote, a scorner, according to the Bible, is someone who is full of pride and who uses mocking and shaming to justify themselves and to manipulate and try to control those who correct or rebuke them. The person they scorn may be someone who verbally reproves them, or it may simply be someone whose life and actions are a silent reproof of them, unquote. The second scripture I'll quote for you as a second preamble, or from the preamble, is Job chapter 1 and verse 6, and I quote, one day the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. From another version, same verse, one day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them. And from another version, one day the members of the heavenly court came to present themselves before the Lord, and the accuser, Satan, came with them, unquote. Now please remember, my brothers, that whenever brethren are united, or whenever brethren come together to do that which is good, to do that which is right, and to stand for justice and for equality, etc., etc., Satan the devil is always in the midst. Satan the devil don't need and don't want an invitation to show up on or at your unity camp or on your platform. For example, for your information, Satan the devil is ever present, and he or it is there to do what he or it does, and nothing less or nothing more. And hopefully now you know what I meant when at the beginning I said it somewhat shocked me. It is because I know that Satan the devil is always standing by. Satan the devil is always showing up. Third scripture, as part of my preambles, Proverbs 16 and verse 8, and it goes like this, and I quote, pride goes before destruction, and haughty spirit before a fall, unquote. Pride goes or comes before a fall. If you are too conceited or self-important, something will happen to make you look foolish, unquote. My brothers, if you guys allow the ever-present Satan the devil to infest you all with the very self-destructive mental disease called pride, you all will be destroyed. And all those that are depending on you for information, all those that are depending on you all for information will suffer as well. Example, if you allow Satan the devil to infest you all with pride, and you become delusional and conceited with your own self-importance, with your own superiority in schooling, in education, in speaking, in mastering our oppressor's language. Remember, it's not ours, our oppressor's language, also known as the English language. Superiority in your systems, in influential connections, etc., etc. Then I, the Mystic Philosopher, must hereby regretfully inform you both that you will be just riding for a terrible fall. Let me also remind you, including myself, that the social media platform that we are now using and speaking through belongs to our oppressors and their heirs and successors, and it can be taken away from us without notice and without reason at any time, especially when we are not using it to advance their agendas. Next scripture I'll quote for you is Proverbs 6 and verse 16 to 19. And I quote, "These 6 things does the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren." Unquote. I have no doubt that you too, Mr. Andrew Stephen and Mr. L.A. Lewis, aka the Maroon Emperor, like almost all the other vloggers and bloggers and commentators, etc., that are shining light on the issue of missing Donna-lee Donaldson, her distraught and ailing mother, and her betrayer, the Judas, the boyfriend, and now suspected or accused murderer, Constable Noel Maitland. I have no doubt that you have all started out with very good and sincere intentions. You all meant well. You all mean and you all meant well. However, please let me remind you of this Proverbs, or if you prefer, this aphorism. And I quote, "The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Good intentions alone won't cut it. And hell is full of good meanings, but heaven is full of good works." Unquote. So from this quote alone, you can and will appreciate the fact that good intentions alone will not cut it. You or we must always be vigilant and guard ourselves against the evil one and all our evil and all his evil infestations mentioned before. So please wake up, respect each other, make up, straighten up, cut out the bull manure and start flying right again. And only by doing so will you put Satan and his devils to shame and earn back a lot of people's respect. For the battle and the fight for some form of justice from the system for Donna-lee is not over. It has only just begun. There's much more work left to be done in order for victory to be won. And you guys just can't stop now, but keep on working together, not apart. Together until it is done. And if you guys are unable to do that, then you will both prove that what you are doing is not about her, it's not about the justice, but about you all damn selves. Thanks for listening, and I do hope that I was able to again provoke you to see and think of things a little differently. In the meantime and between time, please hold it up and not down. Be more and much more, and not less, not be less. For I am the Mystic Philosopher. Ashe, 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 I say.